Hi.
Hi.
I'm so sorry. I'm actually eating now. Baby is sleeping. This is ridiculous. I'm so sorry, but we're going through a sleep regression.
You don't have to explain it to me. But tell me more, how's that sleep regression going?
So I had a Rückbildungskurs today, and we got a notification that her sleeping time is coming,
Mm-hmm.
and she will just not sleep, and she's fighting it so bad. She's crying and rubbing her eyes and all the things that used to work before, they don't work anymore. Like I used to like pat her forehead, she would close the eyes slowly, or schnula, so the pacifier. Now she's like throwing it out and the scream, she's red on the face, red eyes, crying, and it first of all breaks my heart. Second of all, I know she needs to sleep, and the only thing that she can do to stop this is to sleep, which she will not. And also at night, she used to sleep and wake up every 3 hours, now every hour. And before, she used to like suck on her hand. That's how I would wake up. And now she's crying. So our nights got worse. I don't have time because her naps are also super short. I don't know if I can do it. This is the kind of moment where it's gotten really, really hard.
First of all, I'm sorry to hear. Did you notice if she was teething? Because I remember we talked about this not long ago.
I don't think so. I
Okay.
don't think so. I don't think she's teething. I think it's just the 4 month sleep regression, really.
Could
But
be.
I didn't even hear about it until she started doing this.
Mm. It's parenting journey is to ask, is she teething every couple of weeks?
Yeah, actually, my neighbor was here this morning. She's so sweet. I told her that we don't get so much help from the family, and yesterday she brought a jam. She actually came so I could shower, but the baby was actually sleeping at the time. And then today she brought some food, and yeah, she's super sweet. But she was like crying hysterically when my neighbor was here, and my neighbor first thing she asked, is she teething? So yeah, that's why I mentioned she's also asking about it, but she's not teething yet. So
Yeah, some days you will be right, and the answer will be yes. Sometimes
yeah,
it's
but
something
she's
else.
like all the teething signs are there. She's drooling a lot. Yeah, she cannot be calmed down. She cannot calm down
Mhm.
by herself, but I think it's just the sleep regression. Like she's really fighting the sleep, and
It's
the only thing that can help her is sleep. So
mm, it's
yeah.
hard to know because the teething signs they show way before the teeth. Like with my daughter, was like 3, 4 weeks before you could even see the teeth. You
Oh.
could see the discomfort, the crying, the struggling to sleep,
Mhm.
salivating. She would wake up during the night. My daughter always sleeps very good during the night, thank God. But every time she's teething, she wakes up a lot also.
Okay.
It was always way before you could actually see the teeth. So I
Okay. So
guess you
maybe I just don't see the teeth yet. Could be.
will have to wait and find out.
Right? We have to. But, I feel like I cannot be consistent with my work because the last 2 weeks she just doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
Then when I have that 10, 20, 15 minutes, can you please? When she's a bit like when she's asleep, I have to eat or I have to clean or I have
Mhm.
to do something or something like that I really need to do, which is not content. So it's also, but it puts like a mental pressure on me as well that I can't do the things that I want to do.
I feel you.
Maybe in the next few times that we record, I have to eat or do something else.
It's just mom's life, right? Isn't that what this podcast is about? It's
Yeah.
mom's life. I mean, my toddler might run into the room anytime. So,
Oh, she woke up?
and no, not yet. Should be very soon, actually.
Okay.
Be very soon. My
Okay.
husband is with her, but should be soon. Like we traveled to Germany, and we since Then her sleep schedule is also totally messed up.
Okay.
Funnily enough, since we came to Germany, she's sleeping more like the Portuguese kids, which means less hours at night and
Is
more
it,
nap
is
time.
there a difference?
Yes, kids, for example, in the kindergarten, they normally sleep 3 hours. My daughter would never sleep 3 hours in the kindergarten. She sleeps 1 hour, 1.5, because she sleeps almost 12 hours during the night.
Hmm.
And I think the kids in Portugal normally go to bed much later, and then they have a big nap during the day. And now my
Hmm.
daughter is doing this since we moved, so since we came to Germany, which is funny. Um, but yeah, that's all messed up.
But actually, I noticed one thing the last 2 weeks when she's having sleep problems. She was pushing sleep later and later and later, and it got to the point that she was going to bed at 10 p.m. And I couldn't do it because, you know, if she's not sleeping the whole day, then she goes to bed finally at 10 p.m. That means that at 10 p.m., either I go to sleep and I sleep, or that's time for me. And I couldn't choose because if I did do something for myself,
Yeah,
then I will go to bed later and then I'll be very, very tired the
yeah,
next day. So I had to kind of choose. And then I decided, oh, she doesn't sleep well anyway. So how about we start putting her to bed like super early? So now we have this routine. We take a bath at 6 and then at 7 she's down
yeah,
and she sleeps from 7 until 7. So also 12 hours. Oh, and it helps me keep sane a little bit. Thank
yes,
God we made this change. It wasn't easy because you cannot just move it from 10 to 7.
yeah,
You
yeah,
have to move it a little bit. And we just tried and it worked, thank God. Because before it was 10 until 10, you know? So then I had a little bit of time in the morning, but not much because I also have to walk the dog. I have other things to do. So it's way better now when it's 7 to 7.
yeah. Yeah, we did something similar to that. I think much later, when she was already much older, maybe
Mhm.
7 months. But we also did something similar. But it was natural also of her to start to want to sleep a little earlier every time. But at that age that your daughter is now, and when she started with that sleep struggle, one thing that we realized worked for us is sometimes like try to observe her and see what she needs or what she's struggling with. And we felt like movement. She needs to move. She's trying to sleep, but she keeps moving. So what we did was we would sit with her like this. We put our knees up and lay her here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we play a song. I kid you not, it's like the number one played song. Spotify thinks we are the biggest Drake fans. We're not. It's just this song puts her to sleep every time. Not joking. And then my husband would put her in his legs like this, and then put the Drake song "Passion Fruit." Maybe try. I don't know, and start dancing with her arms to the beat of the song. And then she
Oh.
started to focus on the movement and
Mm.
it didn't work always, but it works many times. When we see that she's really struggling, it
Mm-hmm.
works many times. And right now, we started recently also with the fighting to sleep toddlers. I think my daughter is trying to refuse the day nap much earlier than she's supposed to because she's only 18 months now. And what we realize now is her brain, she's in a stage where she's talking a lot. For an 18 months old is actually a lot. She
Mm.
makes already two word sentences and she tries 3 word sentences already. And you can see that her brain is
What
constantly,
does it mean, 2 word sentences, 3 word sentences?
for
Can you give me an
example,
example?
she can tell the cow eats grass. She
Oh.
eats this cow. She can say this cow eats grass,
Mm-hmm.
or she says Hazi. How she says bunny Hazi. She mixes all the languages, of course. Hazi eats carrots, or
Okay.
but she says, for example, all the time, like "Mama shoe out" or "shoe on." or a diaper out, like things like this. So she's already
Mm-hmm.
making the 2-word sentences, and she's trying on the 3. So we can see that her brain is always trying to learn new words and practicing new words. Even in her sleep, she started talking, which is really cute. So what we started was to tell her stories. Like, I talk nonstop. I start to tell a story that makes no sense, but like yesterday was like she wanted to make the room dark, and I was like, did I ever tell you the story when I was camping and it was dark? And then she's looking at me like, what story? I could see her brain like, what story? And then I just start talking, and I don't stop. Like, I don't even take a breath. And I said, I was camping with Peppa and it was very dark, and then there was a noise and we didn't know what the noise was. And she's like, and then I use keywords that I know that she knows to see how she reacts.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see how she's focusing on the story to the point that she's like cannot hold her eyes open and ends up falling asleep. We've been doing this for the past 2 weeks and it really works.
Nice.
But only now at this stage that she is, because I think her brain is entirely focused on speech development.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why it works. But at that age was mostly the movement. Sometimes
Yeah.
I also put her to sleep with shaking her leg. I'm just shaking
Mm.
a bit of a
You know,
sound.
it's really wonderful that each parent will find whatever works for their kid, right?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
example, I have this Hollywood Schaukel, which is, I don't know how to describe it. That's a German word. It's like a bench or sofa that can swing.
Ah, yeah,
You
okay.
know? Yeah. So if I put her there, sure, she will sleep. But then if I move her, because
Mm,
obviously I don't want her to sleep, I don't know, in the sun or in the rain. So
mm,
then I need to move her inside, she will wake up.
mm,
So if I can, then I will make her sleep in the shower. But
mm.
most of the time we need to, especially, German summer, it's sun, rain, sun, rain.
Yeah.
And it's really cold today as well.
Yeah.
So she slept in the morning, she had a nap outside. But now, during my Rückbildungskurs, my partner tried to put her down in the bedroom but failed. Then I quickly typed like, sorry, I have to go, my baby's crying. And I struggled, and then I was late for meeting you, and it's a whole thing. But it's funny because it exactly proves my, like, I wanted to make an episode about sleep regression,
There
and
you go.
yeah, there you go.
It's the real life of sleep
Yes,
regression.
yes,
It's like a
yes. But
reality show.
yeah, but I actually didn't realize it's going to be so hard, In
Mm,
the beginning, when my baby was born, I thought to myself, wow, I have the easiest baby in the world. I'm so lucky. Everyone else is like complaining about their babies, but my baby is not screaming and she's sleeping so well. Jesus, little did I know
yeah.
that when they are born, that like most of the children are good in the sense that they don't have the power to cry or they just sleep. And
Yeah.
then comes, yeah, growth
Yeah.
spurt. Then comes sleep regression.
Or teething, or illness,
And
or
there is always something, right? Like she will go out of, like, get out of this 4 month sleep regression, and there is something new, right?
yeah, then
Always something
probably
new.
will come teething, and then the rolling. They start rolling. So that
Yeah.
also disturbs their sleep because they're learning a new skill. And then the crawling, and then the walking, and then
Yeah. Every-
there's in between there's teething, and then
yes.
there's always something. It makes us I don't know. When the good things are good, you value them a lot. When the things are not as good, we just have to remember it's just a phase. It's just a phase. It's just a phase.
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
so. That's how we survive. But there's a sentence, especially when she was like around the age your daughter is now. I used to tell to myself a lot. It's like it's when it's hardest to love them is when they need it the most. And I have to
Mm-hmm.
tell that to myself all the time when she was like struggling to sleep and teething and sometimes my daughter, I don't know if yours does the same, but she does this sound. And when she was teething and around that age, I think there was a mix of teething and sleep regression. She's always like, at some point, it was driving me crazy. Every time she makes the sound, I was like, it's when it's the hardest to love them that they need it the most.
Yeah, but I was struggling with, when she's struggling, I'm struggling.
Yeah, of course.
You know, you need to keep calm. So I actually changed the wallpaper on my phone
Yeah. Okay.
to her like laughing and being fully happy, like
Oh.
kind of like this kind of photo. So every time I open my phone, I remember, oh, it's just a face. She's just unhappy now. She can be happy. Look at the phone, right? And I
Mm.
often open my phone during the day, so I always see her happy. And every single time I see her happy, I think about it. Okay, it's just a face. She can be happy again
That's
one day.
it's a really smart idea.
Now I needed a boost, you know, the boost of like. It's also not easy when you sit at home and you have no one to really talk to about this or compare, or you're just at home with this baby that's unhappy. It's a bit, yeah, there I cannot regulate my remote emotions somehow.
Yeah. To me, it was also a struggle when, like you were saying, that she cried so much that she's red. I don't know why, but I have a lot of health anxiety with her.
Hmm.
And to me, it's always like, at what point do I call an ambulance? You know, at what point do I bring her to the hospital? At what point, how much? Because I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, the baby cries, and the baby cries a lot and cries for hours." At what point do I bring her to the hospital? You know, am I missing anything that I should be seeing? Is this really normal? You know, and you're like, where's the ruler and who's the person to ask? You don't know, and you have to make these decisions on your own, and you have to think, I don't want to be that paranoid mom that would run to the hospital for no reason.
Actually, we almost drove her to the hospital last Friday because my friend was over and she just started crying, like really red on the face, screaming on top of the lungs, almost not breathing, like, you know. And then it lasted the whole afternoon, the whole night. Then she woke up in the morning and we were like, she pooped and she was fine for a bit, but then she started again, but then she pooped again and it was fine. So
Okay.
must have been the belly. Even, you know, the massages, the bike doesn't work. If she, yeah, it just, it didn't work. Nothing worked. We gave her something for the gas. I even gave her painkiller because I realized she's in pain, and that was the break, that when she stopped crying for a bit. But yeah, I don't want to give her painkillers just to give her painkillers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it lasted like maybe 24 hours altogether. But yeah, at what point do I take her to the hospital, you know? Hmm.
I had two scares with her where I had to, I actually called an ambulance twice, but that was it. But I also have always this, do I give medicine or not? And honestly, I've heard from more than one doctor, like, don't be so, she doesn't need to suffer that much, you know?
Yeah,
Paracetamol isn't that terrible.
I also heard that, but then, you know, I don't know, everyone has an opinion, right? So
Mm.
you hear from the doctor, don't let her suffer, but then I said like, oh, she was crying and I gave her paracetamol, and someone said to me like, oh, is this always the first thing you do? You give her a painkiller when she's crying, you know?
Obviously, it's not the first thing you do,
No.
but if you're
And then you have to explain yourself like, no, but this wasn't normal crying. It was like, I knew she's in pain and I did try without and I did try, you know, and then you have to explain yourself. And I realized that all your decisions, doesn't matter what you do, you're being judged
oh,
always.
100%.
Yeah, always. And sometimes I even post about something where I just tell people what I did. And of course, there's opinions, no? Of course, I get lots of messages. I said the other day that I had a nanny to check if this can work. Why do you need a nanny? Aren't you home all day? Yes, I need a break.
This was probably a man who never took care of a child.
No, actually not. On my account, this daily dose of Annie,
Mm.
if there is a man who wants to follow me, I remove them.
Okay.
I, because I also don't feel comfortable. Sometimes I post like my belly or like, I don't know, stretch marks or something. And I'm totally fine doing it in front of women who understand. And I'm not doing this for male audience. I remove them every week. I go through my followers. I remove the men.
in a way, now that I'm thinking, like, why would they follow you? And I'm wondering if
Exactly.
maybe they are trying to understand what their partners are going through, you
Oh
know?
no, I don't care what they want. It's my account. It's what I
And of
want, you
course, it's
know.
your account, you decide.
Because of course, if I had male audience on that account, I would post different things as well. But I'm posting it for me and for yeah, for girls who are pregnant or girls who are moms specifically, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I wonder that that would maybe be the only motivation for them to follow you, just to understand what their partners go through. But I understand why you would feel the need to,
yeah,
or
but you know, there are lots of accounts where there's like doctors or lactation consultants or psychologists who talk about these
not really the
things.
same. So, like hearing because sometimes I I imagine, yeah, maybe I'm being naive, but um, the way you share those things, maybe their partners are not able to, or maybe their partners are not even aware of the struggles that they are going through and not talking to them enough about it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they
Yeah.
just notice signs of things, postpartum
Mm-hmm.
depression or something,
Yeah.
but aren't really able to have a conversation about it. So maybe they follow your content to try and understand,
Mm.
make sense of things. I don't know, it's hard. I think the first year of after the first year postpartum is so hard. It's so
Yeah, and you know, actually, I talked about this issue with my therapist because we were talking about feeding, breastfeeding, and how it's very difficult for me. And then my partner cannot understand how difficult it is when the baby is drinking and then rejects it because it's not fast enough or whatever, for whatever reason, then we have to supplement with formula. It's fine if you supplement with formula when you want to, if when it's your choice, but I don't have a choice. She literally rejects it, drinks a little from one side, from the other side rejects it, then needs formula. So I have this feeling that I'm not enough, I don't give enough milk, I don't produce enough, there is something wrong, why can't I do it if I want to, you know? And my therapist said, like, he can understand it logically, but he will never actually
big.
understand the feeling. So you need to also be, like, you need to understand this, that there are some things that he can accept in his mind,
Yeah.
but cannot comprehend.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he can have empathy and
Yeah.
try to be supportive, but I think for me that was one thing in my relationship with my husband, which we have a very, I would say, strong and healthy relationship. But since becoming pregnant, I feel like I've never felt so close to him, like since I got pregnant. But I also never felt so distant. Like there is a gap. There are things, everything else in our life we share, including our business. For the people who don't know, we are also business partners. We are together 24/7, every day, all the time, since the day we
Mm-hmm.
met. And we share everything and we go through everything together. But there are things that no matter how much I try to explain him, how hard I try and how hard he tries to understand, he will never be able to go through these things with me. And it's really sometimes hard to navigate. It's really difficult.
Yes.
And that's, I think, another
Extremely.
why pregnancy and postpartum and motherhood sometimes feels so lonely, because even your partner that is with there 24/7, that wants to support you, that wants to be involved, he will still never really get it. Why,
Mm.
looking in the mirror and your body changes so difficult, or why your hormones are making you react a certain way, or the breastfeeding for me was the same. Also felt like I was pumping, I don't know, 10 times a day to make one bottle of milk for 6 months. Like for 1, 2 bottles max, I could do it. And going through the effort of pumping 10 times a day just to get these 2 bottles. And now thinking about it feels insane to me. But it was more, it was like you, like I have to, even if it's 1 or 2 bottles, I have to. And there's no other way. She needs this immunity. She needs this. It's a do all the best I can do for my baby. And my husband wants to support me and try to understand the pain that is going through and pumping and all that stuff. but he will never really fully, deeply. So it's very, I think, difficult to navigate sometimes.
Yes. I feel like the relationship part of being a new parents is a separate topic altogether
Oh, yeah.
because yeah, the change we went through, like even yesterday, literally yesterday, I asked him like if he thinks that we can ever get back to what it was before because our relationship took such a dip. It's you know, and I also gave this example like before having a baby, if he was out with his friends and I had to go to bed, like I would have difficulties falling asleep alone because I knew that he's not home. Somehow it was uneasy for me. And now he sleeps in another room. And I cannot imagine having him back in my room yet, you know? Like he needs to be away for me and the baby to like be able to do the nights that we do.
Yeah.
And this is such a big change if you think about it, that not being able to fall asleep
Straight.
without someone,
Yeah.
and now like I cannot imagine him back somehow.
Yeah.
So we are building it back, but the baby makes it very difficult because all the things we used to do together, now we take turns to do. So we used to go to the gym together. Now he goes to the gym and then
Yeah, it's the
I go
same
to the
for
gym.
us.
We
Mm.
used to go shopping together in the supermarket. Now he goes shopping or I go shopping. It's
Yeah.
always like, you do this, I stay with the baby, or you do this, I stay with the baby.
Yeah.
We never do anything together anymore.
It's the
And I
same
just,
for us.
yeah, it's like, we
Give
are
me,
like coworkers.
give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This was such a mom thing to do. I'm really sorry, but life in Hamburg. I had clothes drying outside, and suddenly it started to rain.
Started to rain.
It was sunny a moment ago. I swear.
Yes, I totally get that. But actually, I see that my baby's waking up. She's already sucking her thumb. So I
Okay.
have to go anyway
Yeah, we should go back to the topic of relationship next time.
next time. But we also have to go through birth stories.
Yes, let's do that. Birth
Yes,
stories and then relationships, because I think it's
very
not
interesting.
talked about enough, you know?
No, I felt like I'm isolated in this. And I told my friend, and she was like, no, stop it. In the first year, it's totally normal. I wanted to move out from my husband in the first year. And I was like, really? Why? I didn't know about this, you know? I thought I'm alone in this. But yeah, next time.
Next.
Okay. I have to really go. Look, she's all moving. Oh, maybe you can't see, but yeah, there is a
Go
hand.
do that. Go do that. Mine should be waking up too.
Okay. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Bye.